Hello everyone, it's TUNESday with Mr. Volts. Hope you're doing well. Our lesson for this TUNESday is about what you watch when you listen to something. I'm kind of obsessed with this as a teacher, like what I've let my students see when they're listening to music. Sometimes I really want them to just not look at anything, but sometimes I want them to watch something specifically because I feel like it's a very different experience. So we're going to test this theory a little bit. We're going to test what you watch when you listen with a single song. And this is by an Australian band called the Paper Kites, an album from 2011 called Woodland, and this is their song Featherstone. Check it out.
Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. When you go, what you leave is a work of art on my chest, on my heart. She went out to the haze in the morning grace. She went out and got lost in a tall hedge maze. Where'd you go, where'd you go, why'd you leave this place? On my heart, on my face. And my life is yours, but your love's not mine. So I'll go, but we know I'll see you down the line. And we'll hate what we've lost, but we'll love what we find. And oh, I'm feeling fine. We made it to the coastline. Past all the signs of a slow decline. You live like your love wasn't meant for mine. Now you've gone to a different life, to a lonely side. Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. When you go, what you leave is a work of art on my chest, on my heart. And my life is yours, but your love's not mine. So I'll go, but we know I'll see you down the line. And we'll hate what we've lost, but we'll love what we find. And oh, I'm feeling fine. We made it to the coastline.
All right, so my guess is that while you were listening to this, at times you didn't just stare at this slideshow. At times maybe you're eyes looked around the room. Maybe you started to do something else. You started to become productive in some other way. And maybe the music started to sink into the background a little bit. That often happens when we don't have something visually interesting to look at, just this background in this case. We start to treat it like it's background music. Now I'm going to try and challenge you to the video version of this. This is something that, we've experimented with as an art form, as musicians for decades now, how engaging the video can be. And in interviews, the Paper Kites have talked about how closely they work with directors when they're creating their videos, because they feel like the video is simply just an extension of the song, not something separate. It's another way to deepen the song. So now let's check it out with the video. Here's their video, the official music video for Featherstone.
Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. When you go, what you leave is a work of art. On my chest, on my heart. She went out to the haze in the morning grace. She went out and got lost in a tall hedge maze. Where'd you go, where'd you go, why'd you leave this place? On my heart, on my face. And my life is yours, but your love's not mine. So I'll go, but we know I'll see you down the line. And we'll hate what we've lost, but we'll love what we find. And oh, I'm feeling fine. We made it to the coastline. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Past all the signs of a slow decline. You live like your love wasn't meant for mine. Now you've gone to a different life, to a lonely side. Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. When you go, what you leave is a work of art. On my chest, on my heart. And my life is yours, but your love's not mine. So I'll go, but we know I'll see you down the line. And we'll hate what we've lost, but we'll love what we find. And oh, I'm feeling fine. We made it to the coastline.
Some really great imagery in that video, and you don't really know what direction it's going. It has kind of that Lost Children feel from Peter Pan. You don't know if it's really dark at some points, and then in the end it's just a giant pillow fight, and the color erupts in the feathers that come out of there. I just think that's a really vivid video, and it kind of changes the song, don't you think? Doesn't it have a little something different to it? How does it change for you? Is your experience different from watching that video now? And finally, a third version, something that's become way more popular thanks to YouTube, and that is the lyrics version of an album, of a tune. So again, listening to the song and focusing now, reading the lyrics, catching every single word, how does that change it? For me, this is sometimes the most dramatic, because I tend to just kind of listen. I'm more of a music guy. I want to hear the horns and the instruments and how they're all interacting. And sometimes the lyrics don't go to the forefront for me. I'm famous for not really knowing the lyrics to a lot of songs, but loving songs that have lyrics. So this helps me to really focus on what the song might really mean and what the depth of those lyrics are, by never letting one go past my eyes and ears. Here it is, the lyrics version of it.
Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. When you go, what you leave is a work of art. On my chest, on my heart. She went out to the haze in the morning grace. She went out and got lost in a tall hedge maze. Where'd you go, where'd you go, why'd you leave this place? On my heart, on my face. And my love is yours, but your love's not mine. So I'll go, but we know I'll see you down the line. And we'll hate what we've lost, but we'll love what we find. And oh, I'm feeling fine, we made it to the coastline. Past all the signs of a slow decline. You live like your love wasn't meant for mine. Now you've gone to a different life, to a lonely side. Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. When you go, what you leave is a work of art. On my chest, on my heart. And my love is yours, but your love's not mine. So I'll go, but we know I'll see you down the line. And we'll hate what we've lost, but we'll love what we find. And oh, I'm feeling fine, we made it to the coastline.
So now that you've listened to that version, there's some lines that really stick out, and I feel like they kind of get passed over when you're not reading those lyrics. Maybe that's just me, but two lines in particular. And my love is yours, but your love is not mine. Oh, what a great line that is. And hate what we've lost, but love what we find. This speaks to a darkness, a sadness, a loss that maybe you lose in those first couple of listens to it. Maybe the video overshadows some of that loss because we start watching the storyline of the children, the lost kids, and maybe we lose some of that depth of that lyric. Now maybe there's a hopefulness at the end of the song that you hear in there about making it to the coastline, but it makes the song, I think, a little bit just more interesting and a greater experience in the listening when we've listened to it multiple times, but then when we also focus on different things. Now, the other thing I want to mention to you is that when we listen to music, it's the process, it's the focus that really makes a difference. And if I can get you to leave my class or my lessons with anything, it's that listening deeply is an exciting and great way. It's something that I really want you to take away, that you're focused and actively listening to music. There's a couple of books and an article. Dan Levitin wrote a book that's called Your Brain on Music, I believe is the title of it. And he was interviewed in a Business Insider magazine article in 2016 that's called A Neuroscientist Explain Why You Should Stop Listening to Music While You Work. And I think a lot of us do this. We listen to music as a way to sort of pass time and put it on in the background. And he explains in there that, yeah, music helps to get you in a better mood, and it relaxes you, but it also takes up some of your attention. The capacity of your brain is taken up a little bit by it. And I also think, like, if you're doing something monotonous, it's one thing. But if you're trying to focus and do a task really well, writing, drawing, something that takes some real mental capacity, you should probably turn the music off. You should give your full attention to the music that you want and your full attention to that other thing. What we see in the research is that it may seem like you're being more productive because you're having more fun, but actually what happens when you're listening to something like that is it is a distraction and your brain can't do the work as well. So, not trying to preach here about it. You may find that you have great ways to listen and make it all work for you, but if you're ever struggling, turn that music off for a few minutes and find yourself more productive, but in a better mood. Hey, on the way out today, I found one more version of this that I thought I'd share with you. It's one of those remixes, and I'm a sucker for a good remix. And this is a sort of electrified version of the tune we've listened to so much. There's a bunch online, as a matter of fact. Check them out. Have a great week. See you next TUNESday.
To the sound of your fleeting heart. Wake up to the sound of your fleeting heart. When you go to leave, it's a work of art. On my chest and my heart. And oh, I'm feeling fine. We made it to the coastline.